My dog is so funny. My dog goes into what we call the mature life, which is this big playpen. And my boyfriend was watching the dog when I was in Cape Banks, and he must have been a turtle or something. He was like, not going back in that water. And then this morning he goes, you have a little swim. You can see it was like,
your fees good. So I want you to try and put them on. And then somebody.
Anywhere.
I don't want to sit. I'm going to sit back here because I'll be up and down. But when you get a second, somebody can open it. Because I'm trying to make that box that.
Very strange.
Do we have a?
And they.
Yes, she's saying she needs you to read some of her. So let's check that first.
I believe so. Never used the app. I can.
It's pretty cool.
And you know, it's true. Why are you wearing yellow?
You gotta know, yeah. So educated.
But I think it was.
Coming in around training. Looks like. Where's this guy?
I was killed my. So I'll never do that.
We got people who come in. And hit them all.
I've done family.
See that? You're one responsible.
Back.
One of men.
For right now.
So you know.
Gosh,
Almost.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Right.
But I find some of them here. You don't like it, you know, there's a hot
Miss. Who works?
normally.
Mm.
I was a bit more. I know that.
Matt.
I don't even have to allow anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. They did a great job.
We're on? Wow. Would you look at that?
Wow.
You're blessed with some significant presence right there.
Oh, no.
The damn part.
Oh, no.
Is that Glenn Garafola, by the way? Is that Lynn's husband, Glenn?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay,
2 N's.
beautiful. Let's give it a few more minutes, right?
Yeah, the waiting room's filling up.
Okay, yeah, let's give it a few minutes.
Nice.
Let that happen.
Going international.
Yes. Global event.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna rival the funeral procession of Queen Elizabeth II this morning.
I really think we are.
This morning was
They did the.
one of the most
Church,
fun
yeah.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, gorgeous.
You dropped that.
Gorgeous. I just love the methodical detail. Oh, they're just so impressive.
And that crown, like 1,000 rings.
Yeah.
The crown.
The crown
Crown.
sat on the coffin.
There's
Yeah.
a petition, they have the stone.
70
The
feet,
stone.
my wife wanted me to listen to, right, with the crown.
Yeah.
I fell asleep halfway through. She's like, this is history. It's my history.
It is, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Apparently there's like 15 crashes. Or, you know,
Yeah, I just,
yeah.
it's mind blowing, right? Because we don't experience
I
that
know.
here.
We all live through them.
Yes.
Just for that.
Yeah, and I think we could learn so much from this whole event, her in particular. I mean, she's so incredible.
Mm.
She's so incredible. I think we didn't pay as much attention to it because, I mean, thankfully, kind of didn't need to, right? There wasn't enough craziness that really went on where the presence was there. Yeah, so we're still allies. No, but so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, Chris, are we waiting on
Yeah,
the
so,
rest?
yeah, it's my wonderfully fast computer up there
Is it?
trying to just
Admitting people.
Okay.
deal with the amazing burnout.
We'll start right here by asking those that I see on there. Francis, Tim, Kieran, Julie, I see you guys at the top. Okay, they heard. Beautiful.
Thumbs up.
Good deal. That's all working. Awesome. Awesome. Good deal. Good
I'm in Colorado right now, you guys.
deal.
That's just went on a 5-mile hike in the dark. Cool.
We got there.
I'll show you pictures.
Awesome. So, Chris,
Yeah.
is it because you can't let them in yet?
No, I admit it all. They're just joining, so it's on their end.
Okay.
Or I think our internet is a little slow because I was just having some trouble.
Yeah, they're slowly trickling in.
They're popping.
Yeah.
We'll just wait. For those of you guys online, just give us a few more minutes. I want to let everybody in. And everybody's got computers open, so everyone's working,
Okay.
right? So funny how that could take that time.
I think for now, I'm gonna open the room like 10-15 minutes. prior.
Ronnie, do we need to log into like GSMLS?
That's a
or
good
anything?
idea. If you want, one of the things I'll probably do, Gordon, is someone's gonna have to operate it from back there. So from an MLS perspective, I don't know, Chris, I have no idea. I know you said you're gonna be floating around a little bit, but as long as somebody can operate that computer for the screen and then share it, that would be cool. It's gonna be a little bit later.
Right here, baby.
All right, still having trouble with those three? I just asked to shut.
Okay, right.
Let's go ahead and shut this bad boy off. Yeah, it's like those last three just
They're
lagging.
like stuck up there. Brennan's been stuck in purgatory for 5 minutes.
I know, man, it's terrible.
It's like,
It's there.
It's there. Anybody in the waiting room at this time?
I have, are you in? You're in? Oh, yeah, my Zoom crashed, I reloaded it. Now we have 23 people there. Perfect, thanks, buddy.
All right, so we're good to go then, yeah?
Good, let's go.
All right, rock and roll. Guys, thank you for being here online and in person. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So to get right into it, wanted to talk about pricing a home in a shifting market. I heard some people recently say they can't stand that word, right? Shift. I don't know why. It's what it is, right? I mean, honestly, so don't, in my opinion, don't avoid what is, you know, embrace it. There's no way for us to get through this without fully embracing it, hitting it head on, and know what it is that we can do. A little bit of irony here, and I'm pretty sure that Sean Annan, I don't know if he's on or not. Sean Annan's one of the agents with a team in Wayne, and he popped out on the ALC. It was either late last night, which I think it was like 9:30 last night, an article from 1981 in the New York Times that rivaled exactly what is going on right now. The article talked about how inflation was affecting the real estate market. And what they were saying was in 1981, it was kind of like that first massive change in real estate, because there was almost an increase in real estate for 30 years. So people had no idea what a down market really was. Some of that could be, how did we record data? How did we get it out to the public, right? And maybe the information just started to pump out a little bit more during that time, a little bit more freely. Today it's instantaneous, right? So one of the quotes from the article basically said, hey guys, so again, I'm obviously paraphrasing, say guys, I don't care what the product is that you're selling, price overcomes everything. And this is 1981, this is 40 years ago, 41 years ago, right? Has anything changed really? Honestly. So as we go and move into this shifting market, that's definitely going to be one of the biggest pieces that's going to control everything is pricing. We're going to talk about how do we price it properly, when do we make changes, and so forth and so on. So 3 things to look at. Going into this market, setting proper expectations. If you're taking notes, now's probably the time to break out your pen. Setting proper expectations, 3 words, right? Expectations, historical data, that would be number 2. And then exposing the trend. Setting expectations, historical data, and exposing the trend. That last one is absolutely my favorite. It's always been my favorite, regardless of a shifting market. Guys, have you heard anybody say there's no such thing as a crystal ball?
Yeah.
Yes, right? Okay. A lot of people talk about real estate market. Where's it going? What's happening? And all too often, you're going to hear people say, I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. I beg to differ. I actually think you do. If you just pay attention to the data and follow the trend, you're good. If I could just ask, I think that was there, right? If you're on Zoom, anybody, if you just make sure you mute yourself, that would be awesome. All right, cool. So let's start from the top, guys. Expectations. So the most important thing you guys need to remember during this changing, evolving market, who's the professional? You are the professional. The problem today is the information age, super rapid. And as each and every one of you, almost every one of you has a computer in front of you or a phone with all that information, now they're the professional, right? You hear a lot of people in the stock market industry, they'll talk about that, those who trade stocks. Well, it's difficult now because everybody has access to it. Everyone's a stockbroker. I'm a day trader. No, you're not. You're not. You're a carpenter and you're fooling around at night, right? Like that's what it is. And so it's affected how they operate their business. Same thing can be true in real estate. We just need to be careful and remember that you are the professional. So this word of setting expectations is so important. So how do we become the professional? Is it because you guys have a real estate license? Partially, right? You took the time, you went through the class, you got your license. Some of you even got a broker license. That's awesome. It doesn't stop there. It's education. Classes like this are awesome. And obviously that's one of our big things is education. Now let's talk about specific. Let's hone in on it. When you guys sit down and you have conversations with people, most notably as the market shifts, you need to be ready for deep conversations. You need to know what's going on in the overall economy. How does that affect us? How does that affect our current market globally? And then maybe, on a national level, and then just tighten that thing up. I'm sitting in Sparta today. How does it affect Sparta? You need to know what's going on out there and how it affects you directly. Let's talk about the bond market, for example. A lot of people say, I wonder what's going to happen with interest rates. Well, right now it's kind of crazy because they're making insane moves with interest rates. Very often they're tied to your bond market. Your bond market will determine what goes on with your specific interest rate from the Feds. So you want to understand how these things play. So pay attention to what's going on out there. This doesn't mean that you sit there all hours of the night, early in the morning, watching, MSNBC or something like that. Like just touch on it. You have to know what's going on economically and then how that's going to affect you. Why do I say that? I'm going to tell you guys a quick, I always tell stories. So as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, right? I used to own a deli and catering business. I was 22 years old. It was the first business I ever owned. And it was brutal, right? A lot of crazy hours. I met a lot of people. I was in front of a ton of people every single day. And I remember this one kid, Phil, he chuckled. He goes, you're like the craziest guy I know. He goes, you know a little bit about everything. And I said, I guess I didn't really think of it that way at all. I think what it was I just made sure my eyes and my ears were open, right? My old man always said, you keep your eyes and your ears open and your mouth shut. Right? That's what he said. And I'll never forget it. I'll live by it, right? That's why you got 2, 2, and 1. right? So you do less with this, more with this, more with these, and the story. So know about these things. Why know about these things? Because you're going to be sitting at a table and you're going to actually be able to converse with somebody, or at least be in the conversation where you wouldn't be before, right? So if everybody was sitting there talking about the bond market, I'm like, what's the bond market, Lewis? What's a bond? I don't understand, right? Okay, conversation over, you're out. Now, conversely, if you're in the same room and Heidi starts talking about it in the same conversation, she's the real estate professional, and the person that you guys are talking to says she knows what she's talking about. Oh my gosh, you just picked up a $2 million listing on Lake Mohawk, right? Far-fetched? Not even a little, not even a little. So education is key. And again, as we shift, this is where you guys are going to separate yourselves more than anything else. So let's move right to the expectation part. Verbiage might sound like this as we move into this market that's evolving. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we know that the market is changing. It's all over the television set. It's all over newspapers. It's all over social media. It's everywhere. Can we agree with that? Yes. You're always looking to get a yes, right? More yeses, less no's. So when you're going, this is not a monologue. This is a conversation. Very often you might not get a lot on the other side, so you draw the answer out. So can we agree with that? We're looking for the yes, right? Leading questions. Yes. Okay. So guys, we'll build a hypothetical. Let's say that we believe that this value in this house is $450. And we believe that because we know what's going on with the market, but the seller has seen what went on for the last 2 years or 6 months or whatever it was. And so they see 500. And so if we can't break that barrier out of the gate, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we can agree that the market is changing right now. If we were to go with that higher number, can we also agree that if in X period of time, and this is definitely up to you guys, right? Not a dictator here. This is up to everybody to choose their business. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's up to you guys on how you like to go. I like 2 weeks. I think if you go 2 weeks and you don't have an offer, you're off, right? It's done. Like there's no reason to keep going in a sliding market. So I'm going to set that expectation and get them to agree to say yes to the price change before I even listed the house. Does that make sense? Right? Get it up front. These are things that we probably talked about years ago, and in the past 24 months, we did not talk about this, but it's back. Set the expectation so that you're not battling them as you move forward, looking for a potential price change. All good? Okay. All right. So that's where we are legitimately on that. So why are we doing it? We're going to talk analogy. Okay. So for the last 24 months, this was the market, right? Crazy. Anybody know how high the market has gone up in Sparta in the last few years? Percentage.
10, like 25%.
I heard 10. I heard 25. Any other numbers? Guesses? No? Okay. 62%.
62.
The Sparta market is up in the last 4 years, 62%. That's a massive trajectory up. Many of us would agree we're just about here, right? So real estate is a bell curve. Yeah, there's highs, there's lows. They tell you that across the country, average is 17.5 years. That's a real estate cycle, 17.5 years, total to total. So other people will say, to break it down, I can go 8 3/4, but you'll hear people say 10 years. So I have a 10-year run up, I have a 10-year run down. I know that's 20. Again, law of average, 17.5 years. Okay. So imagine you have 2 vehicles and they're on a racetrack. You got the number, is there markers? I'll do this. You have the number 1 car and you have the number 2 car. I'm not a NASCAR fan either, by the way. So if you are, great. If I mess this up, I'm really, really sorry. All right. So you got 2 vehicles. This vehicle right here is traveling at 180 miles per hour. That's probably accurate for a racetrack. 180 miles an hour. Car number 2 is traveling at 160 miles per hour. We got this so far? Yes? All right, cool. I just need moans and groans so I know I'm doing something. All right, so car number 1 is here and it's traveling like this. Car number 2 is traveling, and at the very same time, you see the distance? Right? You see that difference between the two? Okay, So if I were to increase car number 2 speed to 170 miles an hour. Cool.
Mhm.
We're gonna start to increase our speed and maybe close the gap, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens if I get car number 2 up to 180 miles an hour? What's gonna happen?
Eventually it'll be tracking alongside.
He said eventually it'll be tracking alongside. Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, false. Nothing could be more false. Did this car stop?
No, it's
Just kept going.
Right.
You're never going to catch up to it. You're never going to catch up to it unless this vehicle starts to travel at 220 miles per hour, right? Just physics. And I'm not a scientist. I actually hate science. Not hate it. I just hate the class. So, fair. So this in real estate looks like this. Real estate market today, in the same example I gave before, I believe that the value of this home is 450,000. I believe that's what it is right now. The seller says, well, I believe it's at 500,000. I go and I choose the 2-week cycle and I wait and I set the expectation. And now 2 weeks goes by and the house didn't sell. So now we'll take it to real estate, 500K, 450K, 2 weeks. Where do I go? Where do I go with the 450,000? Or excuse me, at that point, the 500,000. Well, okay, take me down to 490. Oh, that's great. I'm nowhere near it, right? We're nowhere near it, and the market probably is continuing to shift downward, right? And we're going to get into how we could actually look that up, and I could give them and you the crystal ball, so you actually can track it. So when this happens and they don't listen to you, and that market continues to go down, the only way to do anything is actually to come and get ahead of it at that point in time. And they are gonna lose money. They're gonna lose money. It's not a question of if, it's how much. It's how much. This is a trajectory game. That's all that this is. So when we set these expectations, feel free to use an analogy just like this for 2 reasons. 1, it's kind of easy, right? We can go through it. 2, a couple of reasons. 2, like Chris said, and we all agreed that once we caught up, we were going to run in line. And that's going to be their mentality. And that's the point you get to break and let them know how far off they are from reality on that. Because when they take their 500 and get down to 450, and it takes 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, where's the market? Lower, right? Now they're at 420. And now you have something worse because your house has been on the market for 4 months. So the buyer says there's something wrong. So you're not 420 anymore, even though you probably are worth 420, you're now 400. They're going to get killed. So these are the moments to really get ahead of the game with our expectations. All good? Any questions on any of that thus far? No? Good? Okay. So before I move on to the next position with historical data is 2 important words. Real estate has such a psychological approach to it, right? So we're working with people and emotions, right? This is the house that they've lived in for X amount of years. Mom and dad built it, you know, any of those things. It's emotional. I raised my kids there. So when we start talking about a declining market, and I talk about how I have to make this price drop here, I want us to start getting rid of those words. I want to get rid of the word reduction, drop in price, and things of that nature. I want to start talking about adjustments and repositioning, right?
That's the price improvement.
Price improvement. Thank you, Amy. Right?
Would price conditioning be acceptable?
What do you guys think? Price conditioning.
Sure what it means.
Yeah, sounds a little confusing, but we could probably play around with that, right? Price massaging? I don't know. So, but yeah, so all of these terms are really meant to soften the blow, right? I'm not looking to throw a right hook at someone and take them from 500 to 450. It's just not going to go well, right? So start thinking about your vocabulary and how we're going to prepare for these adjustments. You guys, you know why? Because it's happening. Yes? I mean, if anybody here in the room, does anybody here in the room have a listing that they've made a price adjustment to in the last even 30 days? Anyone?
No, but we need to.
Yes? No, but we need to. I love it.
And I had the conversation.
Yes.
did it, and then she got corona. So then it was like a few days where we weren't in there, so then, you know, now she thinks like it should be pushed out longer, because people didn't get to see.
See the light.
It's, she doesn't get,
Got 20.
doesn't get. it.
Yeah, they're hard. They're hard.
So she went to comps or like what they see in their neighborhood, delusional
That's
about the
what's
condition of her house. And
Yes,
she sees things selling for, you know?
yeah,
Same with, you know, the flip of when the comps had not caught up to the market, when things were high, now we're running into the opposite. We
Exactly.
don't have the comps to back it up.
the only way,
We
how,
know, but
how long do you have that listing?
30 days.
30, so that's fairly fresh. However, if we were to go back 30 days and have that same conversation about expectations and the vehicles and the speed and all that stuff, it's a maybe. Maybe you would have made it a little bit easier, right? Maybe. And I say that because we've all had the client who says, no, 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 no.
I know, and they just don't see it.
They don't, they will.
But at least we said it, so now we're.
Yeah. You're always right. You're the professional. Remember that. They're not the professional. You are. Yeah? Fair? Okay. So let's move on, guys, to historical data. This was your second point. Guys online, everybody's good, could hear, just give a thumbs up in the screen. Chris will tell me yes or whatever. Good. All right, awesome. I want to make sure we're all right there. Okay, guys, moving on to historical data. I heard it best by Tony Horton. Does anybody know who Tony Horton is? Anyone? What?
Oh, no, that's important.
Tony Horton. So this is so ridiculous that it comes into a real estate conversation. Anybody ever hear of Beachbody?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So Tony Horton was the guy that they used for Beachbody. Like hey, Tim Waller, I know Tim Waller's on. Tony Horton is Tim Waller. Tim Waller, I don't even know how old Tim is. We're not allowed to say age probably, right? So however old Tim is, Tim's a grandfather. Is Tim a great grandfather yet? I think he is. I think he's a great grandfather. Nobody looks like Tim Waller as a great grandfather. Nobody. Tim Waller is Tony Horton.
Okay.
So Tony Horton's like in his 60s and he's just like, oh my gosh, he's the most fit guy ever. So quote from Tony Horton, he said, if you don't know where you've been, how do you know where you're going? And another way he said it was, if you don't know what you did, how will you know what's left to do? So for him in an exercise campaign, it was okay. Week one, I did bench press, 3 sets, X amount of weight for X amount of reps. Now, if you knew that you set a plan in place and you knew that in week 3, week 4, week 5, I'm supposed to progress by this percent, this much weight. If you didn't write it down, you have no idea, you know, where you are. Where am I in this game? Where am I on my trajectory of fitness? So real estate, historical data, same thing. How are we going to know where we are currently if we don't track and look at what went on in the past? Understand? So historical data is absolutely fantastic in determining what's going to happen next. Okay, guys, what is one of the most famous sayings out there with history? History does what? It repeats itself. It's so simple. We create this craziness inside of it to make it difficult. It's not. History will repeat itself. That's why there's real estate cycle, right? This cycle, real estate's been tracked, guys, for over 100 years where they've collected the data. It's a lot of years, 100 years. And so these bell curves that we talk about that look like this, these are based over history. And if these are 17.5-year cycles, that means that on average, I know that I can look at this and say this was actually, let's go back a little bit just to play it safe here. If this was 1980 and it's 17 years, 1997, right? Go again, and it's what, 2000, what?
That's right.
8?
3.
Does that sound right? No, it's not right. 18?
You take that.
That's a hard one.
I'm not figuring that out.
14. Okay, on average. So the bottom line is history repeating itself. But if you looked at this, give or take, right? You're gonna have blips. That's how averages work. But on average, this is what you're gonna see. And then the same thing is gonna be true on these low marks. It happened. It's gonna happen again and again and again. It is what it is. You know, outside of a market like Canada, where they've been on an increase for like 20 some odd years, but that's just because of something that they did inside of their government to insulate their real estate market. It's not here. So history will repeat itself. So historical data, you have to know what happened in the past markets to understand how it's going to affect your current markets. So when we talk about historical data, there's a couple of things that we always want to make sure we calculate for ourselves. Go on this side. Okay, so in any point in time in historical data, I want to know how many homes sold in a given time. So if I don't throw that second part out there, well, the question is, well, what do you mean, right? So in a given time, and in something like this, for the macro, it should be 12 months. You're gonna see as we move on to the next one, we could start to go month over month. And that's where your crystal ball is gonna come in. So you wanna know what's sold. When you go historical, you wanna know what expired. How many homes expired in Sparta in the last 12 months? One, right? Like it just, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Take me back. Bring me back to 2008, 9, 10, 11. How many homes expired? 50% of the market, right? They went up, they didn't sell. Same thing. That article in the New York Times, by the way, I don't know if Sean Annan is on now or not, but I know we have that article. We need to get that on. So guys on Zoom, if anybody on Zoom happened to be on that ALC text thread and has that article from 1981, I would love it if you were to put it in the chat. If anyone has that from the text, thank you very much. So what expired? You're also going to want to know what was withdrawn. Did they take it off the market because it didn't go? Days on market in any given period of time. How long is it taking these homes to sell? Let me stop right there. I can manipulate any average I want. Yes or no? I can manipulate anything I want with numbers. When we start talking about days on market, someone says, I sold that house in 3 days. No, you didn't. The house was listed 3 times, right? So this could take heavy lifting to really understand the true numbers. So when you look at something and you saw that it expired, please check out the listing archive of that property. I love Aaron. Aaron's smiling. Right?
Yes.
So
withdrawn.
definitely. How many times did it occur? How long was it on before? Is it on its 4th cycle? You're going to start seeing homes be on the market for a lot longer of a period of time. So historical data, we want to know what did it look like in this time, okay? The other thing that we're going to want to look at when it comes to pricing is the average sale price in a given period of time. Average sale price. I don't care about necessarily the list price at that point in time. I really want to know what the average sale price is. And then from that, I'm going to move on to exposing a trend and how I can start to understand where we're going and what that's going to look like over the course of the next month over month, or potentially a period of 12 months. Any questions on that? Anyone? Anyone online? It's easy enough, right? Okay. So what we experienced in the past 24 months, as I just explained about in Sparta's market, normal or abnormal? Beyond abnormal. Beyond. I had a conversation with someone recently and they were talking about their production. Awesome production. Great. What was your production in 2017? What was it in 2018? What was it in 2019? Your production in 2021 and potentially some of 2022 is not a clear indication of where your business will be forever. It's not. I say that right now so that all of us, and it would be kind of late to bring this up now, but I know you've heard Bill and I talk about this in the past, like protect yourself, right? Someone starts doing really well and they pull up in the Porsche 911, which I would love, but it's not a great move, right? It's not a great move unless you've got this steadiness going on, because it was very abnormal. All right, let's get sexy. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Expose the trend. I love it. This is awesome. Yeah.
She got very excited.
She did. She did.
It's all about sexy.
Sexy. Oh, like everyone needs space. You need space, right? Sexy space. That's what I.
Oh my God.
Exactly what I'm saying.
You definitely laid her down.
Very happy.
This is awesome.
It's better than Stacy. It's better than
That could be her altar. Like
Yes.
Stephanie means you're working sexy Stacy's like.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Bill Boswell,
He'll love it. He'll love
early
it.
in Bill's career, he was laying down, that was his billboard, and it said bosrealestate.com, and he was like laying down like this.
We
Yeah.
have to get a picture of that.
Put it
in
up
this
here.
Oh,
office.
we got it, you guys upload
We need
it.
to blow it up. I mean, just,
Yeah, you know we have it.
look at it. He made it, you guys can make it.
Absolutely. Sexy Billy. Alright, so, I want you guys to know, so I call this a trend analysis. To me, this is the most powerful tool in real estate. I believe that with all my heart, and I've said that for so many years. I believe a trend analysis is the most powerful tool you will ever have in real estate, ever. This is my crystal ball, okay? So, let me see, I'll go macro and micro, this is what it looks like. So, we could take any town we want, and so we'll use Sparta for an example. If someone said, how's the market in Sparta? What I love about a trend analysis is it's completely unbiased, 100%. Has nothing to do with my opinion. It has nothing to do with demographics, the people coming in, none of it. Doesn't matter. All I do is I run my averages. This is the real estate market in Sparta. Now I can go year over year, which we're going to start out by showing. And then from after that, we can just hone it down and we can go month over month. In doing this, I can show you, back to what we said before, of historical data, where was the market, where is the market, and potentially where is the market going, right? If we don't know what it did, how do we know where it's going? That whole Tony Norton example before, okay? So we can look up that historical data. So quickly, I'll use this one. And I'm going to show us exactly how we do this, but for now, I'm just going to give a quick example. Somebody be prepared with a calculator. If I ran these numbers, home sales, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, I'm just choosing it, right? 4 years. And I pull up, and we're going to show you how we do this. And I know that the average sale price in any given town is 350,000 in 2017. 365 in 2018, 370 in 2019, and 400,000 in 2020. Any town whatsoever. So right now, can somebody take 365 divided by 350?
1.04.
1.04. The market went up 0.04%. That's it, simple. 370 divided by 365.
1.01.
01, went up by 01%. 400 divided by 370.
Went up 0.08.
Okay. Went up 4%, went up 1%, went up 8%. How's your market doing? Can you tell someone instantaneously how your market's doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anything else matter? No. Does it matter which home sold? Where? How much for? No, it's a simple average. Unbiased. We all agree? Very, very simple. Okay, so this right here, how do we do this? Very, very simply. Can we jump on MLS on this computer? Are you able to do that, Chris?
Do you want to come log in? I don't have MLS login.
Gordon, can you take care of that?
Yeah.
No podcast. So give us just a second on this one, guys. Go ahead, Gordon. Get us connected to the MLS. So when we do this, guys, here's the factors. I'll say it and let Gordon get signed in. Okay. You're going to open up a search in any given town, and the criteria that you're looking for is time frame. And if we're going macro, we're going year. It's going to be January 1st of a given year through December 31st of that year. Okay. You're going to give a 12-month cycle. And you're going to check, depending on when. So I advise you to always check sold and old sold, because depending on your year cycle, you could end up lending to, right? So sold and old sold inside of that. Very simple for that. Are you on?
I am sharing right now, but
Okay.
I'll let a couple more people in.
Okay.
All right, guys, can we do that?
Yes, thumbs up from Francis Rosato, so we're in. All right, Gordon, do me a favor,
Yeah.
go into the quick search.
Yeah, then that's,
Yep, let's go there, quick search, give me residential. I'm in Sparta, so we're gonna use Sparta. So go to Sussex, go to Sparta. Yep, you're right there, down one, up one, there you go. Good, all right, scroll down. Uncheck all. And then check sold and old sold, please. Old sold.
yeah, it's the mouse. Yeah, the mouse is a little lame.
Okay, and then we're gonna go to close date. And on the close date, guys, how far back you wanna go? 1 year. Nope. Too soon, I can't give you data long enough, so I can't predict your trend. You wanna go pre-COVID, right?
Yeah.
Let's go 2018, okay? I wanna see what happened there. This is where technology is a little rough.
No, we don't wanna buy anything.
Now, what's up with the Zoom? I mean, the mouse?
Yeah, the mouse is a little.
Oh, it likes me for.
There you go.
Alright,
All right, close date. Let's go with 01. Don't use anything here. Just go in there and go 01/01/2018. And then tab over and go 12/31/2018. Perfect.
Alright.
Hit search. Okay, 2018, we had 403 units sold. Okay. Now. Check yes,
Okay.
go ahead. This is what I do. You guys do not have to do exactly as I do. This is how I run it. Chris, can you itemize ST?
There's literally something on there under $100,000.
Oh, 29 grand. I am so pissed I didn't buy that.
I haven't seen anything in the hundreds in like 2 years.
Right? How sick is that?
It's not that long ago.
No, it's absolutely insane. Did you already, did you categorize already?
Yeah.
From low to high, okay, so very important piece, I'll just stop right here. Remember how I said I can manipulate averages, right? Very easy, so you always want to keep an eye out for an outlier. Which you just said, oh my gosh, I haven't seen anything. Now, the truth is, you've got one at 29, one at 70, it's really not gonna be enough to completely shift it. Gordon, can you scroll to the very bottom, because now I want to see what the most expensive one was? Because that could be an outlier. What if something sold for 3 million while you know what I mean? And then the next one was 1 million. That would really skew things, but that's not the case here. We're going from 1.3 to 1.4. So I can use all of this. Gordon, check them all. And then I want you to go to stats. Okay, under stats, I'm looking for my average right here. What's my average sale price?
388, 425.
Okay. What's my average days on market?
75.
75. Hey guys, did it take 75 days to sell houses last year? No, little bit of a difference, right? Okay. Super simple, right, guys? Simple? Okay. Close out. Close one more time. Go into your date range. Go into the far right. Go to the far right first. Otherwise, it'll show up as an error. Backspace 1, go to put a 9 in. And now back to the opening and do the same thing. And we're gonna repeat this process. So bear with us, right? We're just walking through this progression a few times. Okay, got 373. Now, before we go into stats, Gordon, what do we want to do?
Sale price.
We want to sell price. Guys, look at that number.
22, baby.
22 grand. What the heck? What's the most expensive one?
Two. All the way to.
Okay.
25.
Okay, so look, guys, 2.4 million, and just above that is a million. So
Look at that price reduction. Huh?
it could be, yeah, look at that price reduction. So this might be considered an outlier. Okay, I did this already, so I know the outlier is virtually nothing. But if you wanted to, Gordon, when you click all of these, you would simply unclick the most expensive, but if you do that, what else do you have to do?
Take out the lease.
Take out the lease, right? Oh, be fair to yourself, be fair to your client, be fair to your analysis. We don't have to do it because I did this one already, I know. So stats, give me the average sale price,
394, 489,
394, 489, days on market,
75.
75. Let's go to 2020. Okay, and Gordon,
489.
489, and you can go right to the stats on this one, buddy.
Got it. Sale price 60 with
Just give me the high low.
1595.
Yep, choose them all and give us those stats.
And then the stats are 438, 415, 64 days on the market.
Okay,
And then
now it was 2020. I'm gonna stop us all right here. It went up, right? We went from 394 to 438. Macro versus micro. I said we could do year over year. We could also do month over month, couldn't we? What do you think would happen if I took the first 3 or 4 months of 2020? What do you think those averages might look like?
very low.
Very low.
Very low. There's no way any market would have shot up because it was too soon, right? So this is why really honing in and understanding the market from a micro to a macro is so important. And it's even more important as we go forward to look to the future, okay? So we did those. Let's go to 2021. Hey, Gordon, thanks for your help. All right.
Least we could do, right?
Not just the best looking guy in the office with the best set of hair. Not to make a computer too.
458.
458. He knows it.
130.
Yep. See that jump, right? 22,000, like you said, you didn't see
And that's
anything
what
at
you
100. At 26 is two, it's close
Look
enough.
at how many more millions though there's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if you guys realize that the sale price to list price went up as well.
Correct. Okay, buddy, what do you got on average?
561, 503.
503?
Yeah.
Okay. Days on
45
market.
days.
Huh?
45 days.
45 days. Prices go up, days on market goes down. Okay, so now we're in 2022, which means we only have limited time. I can't actually give it the full 12 months. I can still get trajectory, so let's do that one right now. You can actually leave it, even if you empty that, I think we'll go automatic, but go ahead. That's right, bro. Yep. Okay, thus far, 224. Stop right there. We're 9 months in. We're 9 months in. Last year, how many units?
458.
458. Right now, 9 months in, how many? Oh, we should catch up, right? Okay. Easy conversation to start having with your people, right? I mean, this is not anyone's opinion inside of this room. This is factual data. Imagine having that conversation with that person right now, as if you just started to list that property and how different it can be. Like this, your eyes should explode out of your head when you look at numbers like that. Vastly, vastly different. Not meant to scare anybody, right? There's a ton of money to be made in a down market.
Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you. Yep, I'm telling you. So you need to be the one who knows all of this stuff. You'll be the one making money. You'll have a ton of people drop out. All right, 224. What's our average sale price?
From 75, just for the record,
Okay.
to 3.9. I like it. Stats,
Yep.
615, 331. 29 days on the market.
Wow.
With 102.7, right?
So you're averaging 2.7 prices, 2.7 percentage points above asking price, right? Okay. All right, calculator. 615, 331.
Chris is not here, so somebody pull.
Someone else?
I got it.
615, 331 divided by 388, 425. Give me my number.
51.58.
58%. Remember I told you 62, because that went back to 2017, so I did these numbers already. So since 2018, the Sparta market is up 58%. Not a bad investment. Definitely not a bad investment. And if you really tightened it up, this is where we would go micro. I could probably tell you that I could have made 58% in the last 18 months in Sparta. Yes.
So I bought a house in Sparta in 2018 for 185 and I.
Stop right there. How much?
185.
Yes.
I sold it in 2022 for 190.
No.
290.
For 290.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Did you spend 100,000 in renovations?
I did absolutely.
Absolutely nothing. Not
I
bad.
actually bought it fully furnished and sold it with nothing.
Such a good game you played.
Even the boat was part of the fully furnished. So.
Come on, man. Come on. I love that.
Sell the whole year?
I love it. Oh my God.
Sell it, $1.
Dude, awesome. Awesome. We all want that, right? We all want that. Now, we can all have that again, based on what we're gonna do right here. If you guys pay attention to exactly what's going on with this crystal ball, you'll understand it. So why don't we now take this down a little bit more on a micro level, and let's see if there's a difference in the changes on a month over month basis. Okay, good? All right, I'm gonna come over on this side. So Goran, if we could take Sparta. And let's go with the months of June, July, August. You know what? Bring me back to May. Let's go May.
May 1st?
Let's go. Yep, full month cycle. Actually, you know what? What's today's date, guys? 19th? 19th. Okay, let's go May 19th. Okay, and then you're gonna go to June 18th.
$29.
So we have 29 units that sold in May. For an average sale price of how much?
$638, 203, 14 days on the market.
Now, this is where you guys, especially on a micro level, you must pay attention to your outliers. So for the argument of what does that look like? If you could bring me back one page, Goran, close out of that. So you chose them all, you already did that, right? So let's uncheck the least and the most expensive. And run my stats and tell me what my average price is there. 631, so really not enough to move the needle, but important to know, yes? Okay, so we'll do that. Let's go to into June. So you'll just change that one figure from,
Got it.
right? So now this will go June to July.
July 18th again.
Yep. And we'll go June 19th. And we'll run those numbers. Thank you for everyone's patience online as we
31.
work through this. 31,
Cheapest one. 209.
most expensive. 1.5, 1.3, 1.2, no outlier. So what do you got? Average?
637, 880, 28 days.
Little hike in days on market, huh? Okay, let's go.
And there was 2 point.
Yeah.
1.9 difference lower. If you're looking at sale.
Okay, gotcha. Yep, list price to sale price ratio. Yep,
And are we doing the most?
don't need to, no outlier given there. So let's go one more month over here. We'll do this 2 more times. August 18th, July 19th.
$27.
27 units. Lowest one, 174. Most expensive. Think you got an outlier?
Yes.
Okay,
You got a low one too.
correct. So that's massive. So you have a $3.9 million sale this month. But the next most expensive home was 810.
Yeah.
So you gotta uncheck your 3.9
31 rooms.
and take that, that was a massive, it was like 20 something acres, estate, looked like a Mexican mansion. Okay, what's my average?
545, 756.
Uh-oh. Days on market,
18,
okay,
1.22.
all right, one more. These months may be off, May to June, that's okay. So that one you can leave blank, and this one you just have to say from 819 to blank. That'll give you your most recent, right? And then just wipe that off. Okay, this is the most recent month. What do we got? How many? 37 units? And that makes sense, right? Trying to get them closed out before September.
That should be off too, right? Was that
Very, very
part
possibly. So what was our lowest one?
It was 215.
Take the high and the low off. And I'll bet you if we play the game and put it back on, I don't know that that one would be as extreme as the 3.9. You might not see much of a difference there. Average?
564, 014, 24 days.
Okay. So now we're not going to do this now because of time. What time is it? Okay, cool. We're just right on time. So what I would want to do is I would want to do the same exact exercise last year. And I want to see how the market moved in each one of those months in 2021, and then compare it to see how the market moved in 2022. I'm willing to bet much of everything that that market did not look like this, flat and then a fall. I'm willing to bet that that market last year was increasing, yes, right? Month over month, you would have seen an increase. Anyone were to ask me, is the market adjusting? And this is all I did. What is the answer? Yes. Is that your opinion? No. It's unbiased. You mean nothing to these numbers. Yeah, nothing. They're numbers. You ain't changing them, right? So when someone wants to know where a market is headed, this is what you should be doing every single month. Every single month, and you will know exactly where things are going. And then if we go back to the opening conversation of knowledge inside of anything economically, you'll find out that you're going to be able to start putting together. When inflation numbers were up, when interest rates were up, what happened? The answer is, in all of historical times in America, what happened? It was followed by a recession. Okay, if we're followed by a recession, is real estate rate prices going to go up or down? They're going to go down, right? Like this is simple stuff. This will help us know if, by the way, if I were to say, hey, in the last 4 months, what was my difference in my adjustments, right? So Louis, you want to do that real quick, just for argument's sake? 564,044 divided by 638,203. 88, you're down 12%. If I reverse that division, it would just say, right, it would say 12% increase versus decrease. So we're down 12% in Sparta in the last 4 months. Done.
Do you have any idea, something that I always want to know, and I think would be a helpful statistic to give? Any way to search for price reductions? How many reductions have been done in the last 30, 60, 90 days?
I don't,
Yeah, it shows up on hot sheets, but I feel like to do a specific search for price reductions. Like whether 30, 60, 90 days, like how many reductions there were.
I'm sorry, it's that programmatic.
Last year,
Pretty
July.
sure also in the managerial.
Since last year, July.
Platform.
What was the
I
number?
would- that's
557.
vacancy. Okay, and I think that's in there as well. Okay.
63. And so then what you would have to do is that same cycle is the month before or the year after to see, because you have to compare it in its overall cycle. So guys, Amy had asked a question, can you search on the MLS for reductions? So you want to know how many homes made reductions
Yeah,
in a period of time.
yeah.
I don't think you can search the MLS for that.
Yeah, when you're having that conversation and they're pushing for the higher price, you know, you want them to know that they like to compare what's on the market to
Right.
their house, and that's not, you know, a
Sure.
good indication of what something's gonna sell for. So I feel like that's something good to share, but I just have
100%.
never been able to figure out how to like specifically hone in on it.
Without the heavy lifting of going in, doing each
Exactly,
one.
each case.
So.
Hey, Ron,
Yes, who's that?
it's Tim Waller. How are you?
The one and only. What's up, buddy?
You can actually go to Hot Sheets and do days back, and
This
you
is
can
same as you're
search
gonna-
price reductions that way.
Good.
Always do more.
And it's 30 days.
And Tim, is it right that you can only go back 30 days on that?
You can go back as far as you want.
The one in the white,
Okay,
one in the white one.
Dirty, all right, you're stuck in that bathroom.
Price change.
price changes, so maybe we'll find reductions that way. Thank you, guys. I totally appreciate that. So,
That's tough because people remove them now,
True.
do the price reduction and put them back on.
Yeah.
right, so what did I say before? Like,
Your market.
Withdraw. So many people are doing that now, it's crazy.
yes, so know your market, right? Someone comes in and say, yeah, but this one just listed for this.
Yeah.
Actually, right? I was there when it was this, right? You
In that-
know, now that perception of the professional is truly, truly there. That's right. There's no doubt about it. So sometimes there's gonna be some heavy lifting in this stuff. In the beginning, guys, we talked about what, and this was in the article, for the New York Times. Maybe, guys, if everyone wants to bear with me, did anybody put that in the chat, by the way?
Yes.
They did.
I suppose somebody did.
All right, awesome.
Can you
So
copy and send it to an email?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I will send this out to everybody. I'm going to, I'm gonna pull it up real quick, and I'm just gonna read that quote. If I can find it here.
Oh, stop, I can't even make you laugh. You're doing-
If I can find it, bear with me. That's the end of his. I'll have to push it out there. It was about the price control and everything, right? So Amy, you want to know about price reductions, and they're like, well, this is what that house is priced at now.
Yep.
Bring them back to the analogy of the two vehicles traveling at that
You're
speed.
never gonna catch up.
Never.
Yep.
You must jump in front of it. So I'm gonna end by asking the question and then open up if anybody has questions online or here. So in 2008, 9, and 10, it was terrible, right? Terrible. How many bidding wars occurred then? Zero. How many bidding wars should have occurred? More than
A
zero.
lot when we look at the prices of this.
Sure.
Everybody was scared, huh?
And part of that issue was everybody was playing the chase game. Everybody was chasing the market down. I don't know that I care what market you're in. If the value of this property is 300,000, that's the value today. And instead of you putting the 3.25 price on, if you came down at 250, would you not get a stir? Wouldn't you get a ton of people like, dude, what the heck is that? And they're all gonna come.
I tell them that all the time. Everybody wants the bargain.
They all want it.
You're gonna fight for it.
Yeah. So my question is, what could we do in this upcoming market? To be so forward thinking, to get so far ahead of it and get and miss this little bubble in between where people are just gonna be battling. And that might be one of them. That might be. So does anyone have any questions or anything to add, whether on Zoom or here in person? If it's on Zoom, I don't know if anyone's controlling it, but maybe like a wave or
I have,
something.
I have a little tidbit.
Who was that?
That's Mr. Waller, Ron.
Hey, buddy. Go ahead.
It's the grandfather of real estate.
I thought it was Rocky
All
Balboa.
right. So Ron, when we go into a market that is descending, of course, we get offers on our listings and then we negotiate. And when the seller makes a counter offer, that's when I will tell them, well, look, let's let the rest of the real estate community know what we're willing to take, and I get a price reduction then.
Right, right. Well said. You guys understand that?
Yeah.
Right? So don't just take that one negotiation as an individual negotiation, but an opportunity to make your price adjustment right then and there,
Mhm.
right? And that might actually create yet another offer, what we're talking about. Thanks, Tim.
That's my.
You're welcome,
Anybody
sir.
else? Anybody else? Nobody else? All right. So I will conclude by saying thank you for everybody for being here. I also want to give a very special thank you. I think Chad was back there somewhere. He actually sponsored, he's in there. So he sponsored a lunch today. Chad Barris, Family First Funding, who's an MSA partner here in Sparta. I would not let this finish out by not saying thank you to him for doing that. And thank you to Chris for putting all of that together for us, Chris Gross. Thank you, buddy. Awesome. All right, guys, go kill it.
Hey, real quick,
Hey.
anybody that's
All
down
right.
here in Prosperity, Betty Crocker made some cookies today.
Teresa.
Awesome.
God bless her.
On our way.
Save mine, I'm on the way.
All right, you want to close that one out?
So real quick.
Guys,
I mean, I
thank you
can
for
share-
coming. Thank you very much. Anybody want to chat more, we'll chat.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
You made Tipper really happy. He loves what's permanent.
Who?
Me.
My name.
Jane.
I don't know. Don't break my dream, boy.
How are you?
Hey, there he is. Yo, Ron.
We give you one
right here.
I'll steal it. Thank you, baby.
Oh, you're a lot of help.
So that'll go out tomorrow. So you'll get a text.
Hey, anytime, buddy. Too bad Goran broke my phone. I have no clue how to act it now.
Can I have?
I want to get to my meeting
Yeah.
control, but it's all.
Of course.
And make sure you log out of that.
Oh, yeah, but I did, yeah.
Ron, can I see you for five?
Let's do it.
We're kind of going that direction. So I'm going to go 30.